Hi there, Rob Green here from FSW UK, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how you fit the NAVTEK Hi-Flow hoses. So we're going to do a single hose setup using the 2 CFM vac pump, and we're going to do a twin hose setup using the 4 CFM vac pump. Okay, so you're going to have to use your imagination because I'm in the studio, and this little service cylinder is going to replicate a suction and liquid service valves on your little split system, or a VRV, VRF, or even package refrigeration condensing units. Okay, I don't have any Schraders in this, but you're going to have to imagine that I have at the moment. Okay, so starting off with a single hose connection. Oh, sorry, before I do that, I wanted to explain to you that there are two different size 1/2 inch diameter hoses. Sorry, the 1/2 inch diameter hoses are the same internally. Okay, so that's one and that's the other one. The only thing that differs is the ends. Okay, this one has got a 3/8 connection on the end, and this one has a 1/2 inch, but they both have 1/4 either end. Okay, now there is a little short hose you need as well, and I'll go into that, but we need this for the twin hose connection. So for the purpose of the single hose connection, we're going to go 1/4 to 3/8 hose, which is the most popular selling hose. Okay, and we're going to connect the 3/8 end straight on to the 3/8 port on this vac pump, because we only have a 1/4 and 3/8 port. Okay, so that goes on there. And we're going to just turn that around like that so we get the weight of it correctly. So you're going to have to imagine this now, because I'm not going to take out the Schrader core. So I'm using a core removal tool, because you would have had to have done that to remove the suction side Schrader core. Okay, now on the split, okay, so sorry, I'm waffling on. So then the 1/4 end goes on to the back of the core removal tool. On all core removal tools, as far as I am aware, at least all the ones we have sold, that regardless of whether there's 5/16 going on to the system or 1/4, there's always 1/4 on the back end of the core removal tool. Okay, on the back end of the core removal tool, there's always 1/4. Okay, so this is our single hose setup. There's one thing we need to do now. We need to read the vacuum. Never put your toe gauge on the vacuum pump, okay, because it will always read significantly lower at the vac pump than what it will on the system. Maybe 500 to 1,000 microns, so 1 toe difference, yeah, okay, particularly on larger plant. So what we're going to do on here, if you buy this setup, which is this little micron, I call them a micron gauge adapter, it's a vacuum gauge adapter. On the 45 end, they will always add a Schrader core depressor on there, okay? So you can effectively use that Schrader core. You don't have to remove the Schrader core. In theory, as long as it depresses the core, you can put that straight onto the system. Okay, I'm going to turn that way so as you can actually see it. So now I'm reading the vacuum in a perfect scenario. I'm reading at the furthest point away from the vacuum, because I'm reading from the liquid side. Okay, so if you imagine your liquid line goes up to the evaporator, yeah, through the evaporator coil, back down the suction. So this micron gauge is reading the furthest point away, which is absolutely perfect. So that's a simple, easy to set up single valve connection, again on little AC splits or package units. Okay, from experience, I have done a 10 kilowatt Fujitsu heat pump cassette with a 5 meter pipe run. I think it was on what pipe size would it have been? I think it was on 3/4 and 3/8, or it might have been 5/8 and 3/8. I'm not sure. And it pulled that thing down in 3 minutes 28 seconds to, I think it was 500 microns. I think the video is on our FSW UK YouTube channel for you to watch. Okay, so even on a single hose with this wonderful little 2 CFM cordless vac pump, it's a game changer for you. Now, how do we do it using a twin hose connection on the 4 CFM or an 8 CFM vac pump? Okay, so ideally, if you're going to use a twin hose setup, you need a larger vac pump, preferably an 8 CFM, but as big as you can, to get the benefit of the hoses. Okay, in fact, I'll leave that on there. Okay, so what are we going to do? So we've got the one hose, we've still got it connected to the core removal tool, and you're going to need a little brass T-piece, okay? And what this T-piece does, this one is actually 3/8 with 1/2 inch on the branch. Now we need 1/2 inch on the branch because the NAVTEK only make this little shorty connection hose in 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. You at least need a 1/2 inch port. Let me move this over. You at least need a 1/2 inch port on your vac pump. So what do you do if you haven't got a 1/2 inch port? Well, it's quite simple. You can actually buy little fittings off us that you can increase it from 3/8 male to 1/2 inch male as well, just a female to male adapter, okay? But for this, generally the larger vac pumps will have 3 ports, okay, and one of them being 1/2 inch. So that goes straight onto the vac pump. Okay, then your the 1/2 inch increasing T goes onto here, okay. Then this hose goes onto the one side of the T. Now we have to take this off, this toe gauge or micron gauge off here for now, okay, because you're going to need to add another core removal tool on the liquid valve to remove the shredder, because you're going to have to imagine this is a VRF now or something similar, okay. So we've taken off taken out the shredder, and we got 2 core tools, one on the high side, one on the low side, or liquid and suction sides, okay. Now, so that allows us then to use the other high flow hose that we'll connect on the other side of the T-piece. And then, there we go, let's get that bend right, and put this on the back of the core removal tool. So the easiest way then to still read your evacuation is to go on to the access port on the side of your core tool, okay? Okay, so there we go. So we'll set up. So there you go, you've got it quite easily and quite quickly. You've got a twin hose setup from the NAVTEK way, okay? So we've got 2 hoses going, one onto the high side, one onto the low side, reading our vacuum as we're pulling it down to 500 microns or 2 torr, whatever you decide to pull it down to, and it's as simple and as easy as that, okay? If you wanted to use the 1/2 inch setup, all you need is a 1/2 inch equal T, yeah? And that allows you to use the 1/2 inch hoses. But because they're always 1/4 on either end, then you can do exactly the same setup using the 1/2 inch hoses, which you might prefer. So there we are, guys. Hope you enjoyed that little video, and it goes some way to explaining how to set up the high flow NAVTEK hoses. Hi there, just a little addition on the end of this video, because I often get asked by customers when I show them this single hose or double hose setup from NAVTEK or Appion, whatever it is, what is the best time to remove the digital vacuum gauge? Now, and it's a valid question, to be fair, because the problem with all core tools is that the vacuum gauge port is always live. So when you've swapped over to your charging lines and you've purged them, you need to be very careful that you don't forget the digital vac gauge is still connected and keep blasting high pressure refrigerant in there, because I mean, okay with the Appion AV760 because it will take 400 psi of pressure. The Testo and lots of others will only take about 70, some less, okay? So the safest and simplest way that I advise people is that when you first charge, when you first purge your lines, is to just make sure that you take the system up to a positive pressure of about 5 psi or half a bar, and then, excuse me, that allows you to take off the digital vacuum gauge under a slight positive pressure quite quickly, because obviously there's a shredder core in there, so it'll take 2 seconds to take it off and you protect your digital vacuum gauge, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Thanks again. See you all again soon. Bye now.